Yeah, Puzzle YouTube, SixftHax here, happy for you guys. Today the team builder for week number 4 of P4G. This week we are taking on Cyclemore, aka coach of the PARIS Politoedes. If you guys may have missed our insane week 3 battle that went literally down to the final second of the match, then a link to that will be down in the description, as well as a link to our opponent and hopefully all the other P4G coaches. Of course, if you guys are excited for this, hammer arm that thumbs up button down below and let me know in the comment section what are the 6 Pokemon that you would have possibly brought to this matchup if you were prepping for our opponent with our draft. So yeah, of course, as always, thank you to the front office homies who were able to help me this week for prepping. And with that all out of the way, hold on, let me move this over. Alright, there we go. With all of that out of the way, let's take a look at the team matchup, which is below me. So, as you can see from our team, Swallow just kind of runs Choice Specs and destroys us. Like, not even Spadef Bulky Steelix really likes taking Boomburst that well. Like, yeah, it doesn't do that much damage, but Swallow also has access to Heat Wave, and that basically destroys Steelix. So Swallow is absolutely terrifying this match. Nidoking is something else that is really annoying for us to deal with, honestly, mainly because it hits so hard and it's also just stupidly bulky. So we do have to be careful with that. Rotom Mow has a phenomenal matchup in this game. Like, Rotom Mow, I think, is definitely going to come to this game. Most likely Choice Scarfed, because we can easily run something like Scarf Nidoking or Scarf Heracross, both of which are outsped by Scarf Rotom Mow. So that makes a lot of sense to me going into this game that he may want to bring Scarf Rotom Mow, or potentially Specs Rotom Mow just gets a kill basically every single time. So that's absurdly terrifying. Registeel makes a lot of sense this game, I think, because it's really his only switch in to Noivern. Like, if he did not have Registeel and he didn't have a Steel type, or just or basically, like, if he had Steelix instead of Registeel, Noivern basically just got a kill every single time it came in. But with Registeel, that can kind of keep Noivern at bay. So I fully expect Registeel this game. The Alolan Persian makes a lot of sense too, because Z Parting Shot could be very annoying. Hoopa Unbound, Hoopa Bound, regular Hoopa essentially, is really tough to switch into, because something like Fightium Z makes a lot of sense in my opinion, because our best switch into Hoopa is going to be Umbreon, and if he has Focus Blast with Z Focus Blast or something like that, then he can kind of manhandle his way through Umbreon, so we have to be very careful with that. Blaziken and Gallade, I think, also have decent matchups this game. I don't think he would bring both, just because I don't think he would want to double up on the fighting types, but at least one of them has to come. And if I had to choose one, I would probably say Blaziken has the better matchup, because switching into it is really hard, because a mix set with knockoff from like Hidden Power Grass pretty much just gets the kill every time, so that's really scary. Malamar and Girafarig along with Lapras, I don't really expect. Like, Lapras makes some sense because Salazzle, he has no good fire resist essentially. Like, if you look at his draft, literally everything is neutral or weak to Salazzle's dual stab. And something like Assault Vest, Spadef, Bulky Lapras can kind of help mitigate the giant threat that is Salazzle. So I feel like Lapras has a better matchup than something like Malamar or Girafarig, if you get what I'm trying to say. So not really concerned about both of his psychic types at the end. Gallade also I'm a little bit iffy on. Like, if he brings it, it's fine, we can deal with it. So not too concerned about that. But speaking of Salazzle, that is going to be our first team member for our match this week. We are rocking a very awesome Choice Specs set, because again, absolutely nothing on his team is switching in to Fire Blast or Sludge Wave. Even if he has Blaziken, unless it's very bulky with like Assault Vest, Fire Blast alone does like 40% already to Blaziken. So essentially, I can just kind of lock myself into so I can lock myself into Fire Blast and just nab a KO. Specs, Timid just comes in and everything just dies essentially. Like, there's no way around it. every time this gets a free switch in on something that's locked into something incorrect, or that I can outspeed and guarantee KO, Salazzle is just going to get a kill. So that's really awesome. We actually have Hidden Power Bug on this, which is pretty cool, because out of Hoopa and Malamar, well, first off, we didn't even need a fourth move, and I didn't want to go Overheat to be brought down to -2 special attack. So out of Hoopa and Malamar, I figured that maybe Malamar would be slightly more annoying to deal with if he were to bring it, and I at least want to have one other Pokemon with a bug type move. After seeing Sycamore's match against Greg, where Greg had no bug moves, I figured that if he does feel confident in Malamar, then I'm going to ensure him that I was prepared for it. So that's really the only reason we have Hidden Power here. It's just kind of only for Malamar, and that's really it. But Sludge Wave, Flamethrower, and Fire Blast hit absolutely everything, and things get destroyed pretty much. If I'm not mistaken, the speed is enough to outspeed Jolly or Timid max speed Alolan Persian, which is his second fastest mon with the Swallow, which we don't outspeed Swallow in the first place. So our next team member here is going to be Wingspan, aka the Heracross, making his return. And this time around rocking a nice Choice Scarf set, because while this is outsped by something like Rotom Mow, I figure that if he has Rotom Mow and it is Scarfed, he's gonna need to have like Hidden Power Flying, or hope that I'm at -2 special defense drops, because even at -1 Spadaf drop, there is no way that the Rotom Mow knocks us out with the Thunderbolt. So if he has Hidden Power Flying, that gives me a free switch into something like Salazzle, so I can then revenge kill him. And if it were to come down to both of us having to sack things off, then I firmly believe that in the end, Heracross would probably be able to sweep ultimately, because after this gets a Moxie boost, or yeah, actually if it gets 1 or 2 Moxie boosts, there's really nothing he has to switch into this. Not even Swallow's going to appreciate taking a Scarfed Mega Horn at +1. And much like Salazzle, he does not have the best switch-ins to the Dual Stab from Heracross here. Like, yeah, he does have Nidoking, but once we weaken Nidoking enough, and we're able to apply pressure to it, it's not going to appreciate switching into Mega Horns or close combats, or we can catch it with an Earthquake and automatically just body that, and then when his Nidoking is gone, I just bring in Heracross again and click a dual stab and something dies. So that's really the idea behind Heracross. It comes in and things get absolutely destroyed. If I'm not mistaken, the speed is enough to outspeed Jolly, Blaziken, and Jolly Gallade in case they are running Scarf as well. So yeah, with Salazzle and Heracross here, both of these mons have a lot of potential to just kind of put in some work. Next off, we have Nidoking, of course, making his return. Chomp, as always, has a phenomenal matchup. Sludge Wave and Earth Power pretty much just destroy everything. And even if he has like a Assault Vest Gallade or something, or like a Assault Vest Hoopa, or Assault Vest Lapras, we can still pressure them. Sucker Punch is amazing to be able to pick off something like Swallow, Rotom, or Hoopa even, so that's going to come in handy. Stealth Rocks, of course, are going to be absolutely amazing, because along with Stealth Rocks, that helps Salazzle just put in so much work this game, and he's not going to be able to deal with Salazzle. Basically, once Rocks get up and Salazzle comes in for free, he basically has to sack something. That's how I think the match is going to go anyways. Like, Nidoking can also help pressure his offensive walls and any potential Assault Vest mons that he may have to try and deal with Salazzle. So we are running enough speed to outspeed again Gallade and Blaziken if they are not Scarfed. So next off, we have our first switch in to Choice Spec Swallow. The beautiful thing of Assault Vest Slowking is that Boom Burst is literally doing regenerator damage, and that is actually insane. Like, the fact that Slowking can pretty much switch in and never get to a KO to buy Swallow, but in return potentially Oko Swallow after chip damage is really amazing for us in this battle. Of course though, we also do need Slowking to try and deal with that Blaziken, but I don't expect them to bring something like Adamant Life Orb Blaziken. In my opinion, that wouldn't make a lot of sense. I feel like maybe a Jolly set would be better in the long run in this game. or potentially even Scarf. And if it is Scarf, we can still deal with the Blaziken accordingly with our Slowking here. Plus we have another little backup answer for the Blaziken as well. But between Scald, Ice Beam, Dragon Tail, and Focus Blast, we're able to hit absolutely everything. Dragon Tail is going to be absolutely amazing if he has something like Curse Lapras, I guess, or like Curse Registeel even. Dragon Tail can also just help rack up the chip damage with Stealth Rocks, because if I switch this in on Swallow's Boom Burst and I predict them to switch out, I can Dragon Tail potentially, and then if I Dragon Tail back in the Swallow, he still can't knock me out, and after 2 Stealth Rock switch-ins, I can guarantee knock him out with Scald or Ice Beam, which is going to be absolutely amazing. So yeah, Dragon Tail has a lot of good benefits in this game to just kind of prevent things from setting up and being nuisances to our Registeel here, Slowking here. And then Focus Blast is legitimately only for the Lapras. Like the final move, I really felt I didn't need anything per se. Like Signal Beam isn't that important in my opinion. I really didn't need Shadow Ball either. Like with Scald, Ice Beam, and Dragon Tail alone, this pretty much hits everything pretty hard. So I felt like the last move could just kind of be whatever, and I figured Focus Blast would be nice because if I need to pressure the Lapras, if I don't have Stealth Rock, so Focus Blast is still doing really good damage, and then I can put it in range of where Salazzle can come in until I KO it essentially. So next off, we have our second Assault Vest Pokemon here, which is Assault Vest Umbreon. Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. This is indeed Assault Vest Umbreon, and I know this is really weird. Like this is not exactly a set I thought I would ever use. Like Umbreon already is stupidly bulky, right? Like Umbreon is already beyond all belief really fat. But the great thing about Assault Vest Umbreon is that this pretty much stops his Swallow as well. It completely stops a Hoopa, and it also completely stops Rotom Mow, because he has so many specially offensive Mons that having a second Assault Vest Mon in the bag is going to be really great. Pursuit is also phenomenal in this game, because if he Leaf Storms with Swallow, if he Leaf Storms with Rotom, or he Boom Bursts with Swallow, or he doesn't Focus Blast right away with Hoopa, I can effectively Pursuit Trap Hoopa, I can Pursuit the Swallow and Pursuit the Rotom on the potential switch out, thus racking up that little bit of damage that I need to put them in range of where I can revenge kill them with one of our other Mons. Factoring in Stealth Rocks to that as well, I will be able to eventually put the Swallow and the Rotom in range of where something like Sucker Punch from my Nidoking or this Umbreon is actually going to be able to knock them out, and that's going to be absolutely amazing. So I'm really hoping that this set puts in a lot of work. Like if this puts in work, I may have to consider bringing in Assault Vest Umbreon some more in the future. So Foul Play is just kind of there because it does pretty good damage to everything else. Psychic is really only for the Blaziken. With our defense investment, we're able to switch into Adamant Life Orbed in Nidoqueen if you were to bring a physical variant of Nidoqueen. So I will have to watch out for that. Like Nidoqueen in general is just really annoying, but we have ways of being able to kind of check it, force it out, and revenge kill it essentially. So moving on to the final team member here, we got Noivern, aka Nate, and I'll be honest, I'm really iffy on, like I don't know if I really want this set, because originally we had Swirlix over Noivern, and somebody had mentioned something about potentially a bulky Roost Noivern being a good bring to this game, and I wasn't gonna change it until I kind of like realized, like, yeah, bulky Noivern actually doesn't look that bad, because this can also help us deal with Blaziken, which Blaziken is absolutely terrifying. With the Yachi Berry, there's actually no way that Rotom Mow can ever revenge kill us, and if he is running a choice spec set, there's no way he knocks us out either, because again, we're just ridiculously bulky, man. Like this is a super fat Noivern, which can be a giant issue to his team potentially, but he should have ice coverage on something. This can also, I think, tank a Boom Burst from the Swallow. We can switch into Blaziken. We should never be 2-hit KO'd or O-Code. This can help check the potential Gallade. We can taunt things like Registeel, potentially a slow Persian, maybe Malamar even, or I guess Girafarig, but it's a Girafarig. I don't expect Girafarig this match. But Air Slash and Flamethrower pretty much hit everything. If he didn't have Registeel, I probably would have gone like Draco Meteor just so we can kind of have that little extra oomph from one of our stabs. But Air Slash and Flamethrower kind of hit everything. Like if Noivern can at least kind of take down one mon, if it at least takes down one mon, I'll be perfectly happy with it. Because again, I'm really iffy on the set. I don't know if I fully like this set or not, but yeah, regardless, this is going to be our squad for this week. So of course, if you guys are excited for this, hammer arm that thumbs up button down below. Let me know in the comment section below what are the 6 mons you would have brought to this match. And with that being said, I'll see y'all tomorrow with the actual battle itself. So later, everybody.
No matter where you're at, I'm not here to make friends, it's time to attack and deplete your HP with a final smash. Don't make me turn around and pull a 6-foot hacks. 6 foot hacks, yeah. 6 foot hacks, yeah. 6 foot hacks.